I reached 15 and sadly, my dad passed away. We had to move house, we had to sell our family home. And I think I really found that time quite a shift in perspective of what's going on. So I bought this plastic cup, designed it because I just wanted to be a little bit more creative. I had a few friends and family oh, can I buy one off you? I really want this myself. I stuck it on Etsy. It just went wild. I made 60,000 sales in that first year. I mean, I do work 7 days a week and I am up late.
If your dad didn't pass away at such a young age, do you think you'd have still made the same decision?
I think
Katie, welcome to the Driven Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Really happy to have you here today. We've obviously known each other about a year, maybe a year and a half now.
Yeah, I think so.
Had quite a few discussions in the past. So it's good to have you on, get some knowledge and some nuggets from you today. So as you know, this podcast is called Driven. So what does that word mean to you specifically?
I think it means a lot of different things. But for me, it probably means having the motivation when times get tough. I think it's really easy to be motivated when things are going well and whatever you're doing, maybe it's your career, maybe it's your business. But it's when things aren't going well and you're still motivated and you're still willing to push harder. I think that's what driven is to me in collectively.
Love it. And who is Katie? Who is Katie?
Who is Katie? That's a question. I am an entrepreneur. I like to call myself that because I set up my business when I was 18 and now 5 years into it. And yeah, I'm just kind of I just really enjoy it. I enjoy making businesses. I enjoy the hustle of it and having that kind of creative element to it.
And what are you working on at the minute? What's driving you at the moment?
At the moment, I'm building Peppermint, which currently is a luxury athleisure wear brand. We're only a couple months away from launching. So yeah, it's really fun and exciting, but it's a completely new element to me that I've never delved into before. So just trying to learn it all as I'm going along.
Taking it all in your stride as you go.
I am.
That sounds good. Well, we'll go into Peppermint a little bit later.
Yes.
But we'll start by going back. It's what we do with all our guests. We start at the beginning. So what was life like growing up in your household as a child and into your teenage years?
So actually there was kind of I think this is also why I kind of got into business to begin with. I had a great life. I lived in a nice area in South England. Grew up, there wasn't too much happening in my lifestyle. Went to school and everything. But my parents had their own business when I was growing up and it was called Peppermint, which is kind of why I used that name later on. This is all part of the story. But they used to have interior design business. So I grew up kind of always seeing the hustle of my parents working quite hard on that. And then I reached 15 and sadly, my dad passed away. So a lot of my life really shifted in that moment. I think it was quite hard on my mom because obviously my parents had a business and she couldn't keep that going.
Yeah.
So we had to move house. We had to sell our family home. And I think I really found that time quite a shift in perspective of what's going on. So yeah, I still went to the same school. I think I did business management in GCSE, geography, biology. I was more into my science back then. And then I went to A level, and I really can't remember, biology, maths, and environmental science. So I was kind of into that realm. I wasn't even thinking about making a business. And then COVID hit, which was it 2020?
2020, yeah.
2020.
Long time ago now.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that really I messed up a lot for me because I was right smack bang into doing my A-levels in the first year, and then I was into the second year. I wasn't planning on going to university. I was planning to actually go to the States to be an au pair for a year. So I was very relaxed on my exams. My mocks didn't go particularly great, but I'm always one of those people that are I can just pull through. I can just study and I can pull through. But COVID hit and we were told we're going to have give you your predicted grades. So I was kind of screwed in that because they were not great. But it also ruined my plans because I couldn't travel to the US and I didn't really know what to do. So, again, living at home, not too much going on apart from just, trying to help my mum out because she was a single mum. Um, and then went home for COVID, decided I would apply for university, which wasn't on my plan. But I needed something to do in that entire year because everyone was at home. I had nothing to do. So I applied for business management at Greenwich University, got a space, surprisingly. Um, and then it was just all online. So just kept that going.
So why did you apply for business management? So you say very into your sciences. I think you said geography and a few other bits like that. So where did business come from?
Business came from I think it was from my parents. I always saw them do it. And when I was 14, I actually decided, because I wasn't old enough at the time. 14, you can't get a job. I think you have to be 16 or something in the UK to get like a little part-time job. But I always wanted to make my own money and I really liked doing that. So when I was 14, I basically used to hand make clothes and sell it online on a store called Depop. Do you know, like, the
Yeah,
online
yeah.
platform? Yeah, I did actually quite well. I managed to, like, as it's kind of a weird one. It's like a social media platform, but also a store. So I managed to gain quite a lot of followers onto my store. I did quite well for it. But it also really helped me when I was 15 and like helping my mom out as well, because I wanted to take the pressure off of her of like, if I'm earning my own money, she doesn't have to support me.
Yeah.
So I was doing that in the background whilst I was studying anyway, and I actually just really enjoyed making my own money. Um, so I think I just decided to completely go down that route instead and go down like the family routes. And I just really had a really big passion for it. So I thought I'd learn more about it at university. So that's why I chose business management. Because I felt like I had some experience within it.
I understand. And going back to your mum and dad's business, what do you know about that? I know because you was obviously quite young at that
Yeah.
stage. Was you picking up things as a child from their business and discussions that were going on around the house?
Yeah, I think I mean, as a child, I was too busy on my Nintendo at the time. But I did always hear like their conversations of just like, oh, we're doing XYZ. My dad would take me, he would go to projects, around London. He would be working on hotels for the soft furnishings. And he would say, oh, I'm going to XYZ. I can drive you. You can come with me. So I'd always see him working on it. And I think I really enjoyed like every day being different. But I also knew that there was quite a lot of work that goes into a business. Like sometimes my parents wouldn't have a lot of work going on, so it would be quite hard in our house. Like, we don't have a lot of money this month. And then sometimes they would get a project and like, we can go on holiday. And I think it was just a lot of like, there's stuff that I look back on now. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was just so much happening behind the scenes that I didn't really take into account. But there was so much hustle, there was so much hard work. But I always have this very distinct memory of my dad saying, like, I'm building this business to hand down to me and my sisters. And I think that always just sticks in my mind to like a reason why I went down the business route and why I
Yeah.
wanted to continue that. Because I know that he really wanted us to do that
So
eventually.
in effect, you want to carry his legacy on.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't do interior design now, but that's why I kept the company name for my company name. Um, and I think that's always been a driving factor of like why I went down that route.
Yeah. And if I remember rightly, the E is a 3.
Yeah. The
Why is
ears
that?
are through because I'm one of 3 daughters, so I have 2 sisters. So I was like, for like trademarking reasons, I'm gonna change the E to a 3.
Yeah, I love that. And so you applied for uni.
Yes.
I think we got quite a similar story when it comes to uni. You
Yeah.
didn't finish.
I did not.
So talk me through that. What
Yes.
was it? Wasn't never in the plan to go to uni.
No.
But you done it for something to do, really.
Yeah, yeah.
In what was obviously a mad time in the world. But how did you find it?
I think my reasons for dropping out are because I just didn't really enjoy it, but I also don't have a very great perspective of university because that first year was COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied without really any intentions to study full stop anyway. So maybe my intentions weren't like great to start with, but it was all online. So I was just turning up to lectures and half the people weren't there. Like some of the times our lecturers wouldn't even turn up. It was very like half-hearted. But I just kept that entire year going because I had nothing else to do, so I just thought I'd study. And then second year, I think we were like coming into we had weird rules where you could go out but you couldn't really. But
Yeah,
I managed to move
course.
to London because the campus had opened up, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll see what campus life is like. But again, still COVID restrictions, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I'm more of one of those people like I like to go out and earn and experience and learn that way. And studying to me was just, I hated it. I really hated it. So I ended up dropping out after the second year, which I think is probably the best decision I've ever made. But yeah, it just was not work, like did not work for me. I know that everyone has different experiences. Some people really enjoy it and some
Mm.
people really vouch for university, but just wasn't the right thing.
Listen, I completely agree. As I say, we went down a similar path, and I think I made it a year and a half into uni before I dropped out,
Yeah.
and when I set up my business. So I understand exactly what you mean. I
Yeah.
think for some people, it's the best thing in the world, and for others, I mean, a lot of people were missing lectures when I was there, but that was from hangover, not necessarily through COVID. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was a crazy time. But so you left uni, did you say after the second year? You finished the second year?
I was like a couple months away from finishing
Okay.
second year, and I was just like, you know what, I'm calling it
So
quits.
what was, because I remember distinctively
Yeah.
when I decided that was it.
Yeah.
Um, so is that the same for you? Do you remember that point?
I think, yeah, I basically just told my mum, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So
And what was
I
her reaction to that?
I was very lucky that she was very supportive. I think it's also because she didn't go down university at all herself. So I feel like she didn't even have like a leg to stand on or argue against it. But I also think she had full trust in what I was doing anyway. I was actually running my business during this time. So I think she had seen the potential behind it. And obviously, of being within that like startup realm herself, she kind of knew that that was my calling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very lucky that she fully supported that. She didn't argue against it, and she was just like, "Yeah, do it, do it."
That support's always amazing.
Yeah, I was very lucky with that.
And so you was running your business at the same time, which obviously isn't the business you're running today.
No.
So talk to us a little bit about that. What was that
Yeah.
business?
So when I applied for university, so throw back to right at the beginning, I also started what kind of led on to Peppermint. Um, I like to call it as like an accidental business because I'm really big into my coffee, and we would on our daily walks I would go out and get my iced coffee. But being from my more environmental side of things, I didn't want to use the single-use plastic cups that you get from any of the coffee chains. I just saw them piling up in all the parks because everyone else was going on their daily walks. Um, and I thought, right, well, I don't want to use this anymore. I don't want to contribute to like this mass waste. I'm gonna make a cup that I can just use for myself. So I bought this plastic cup, designed it because I just wanted to be a little bit more creative. My mom, being like a classic mom, took a photo, stuck it on Facebook, and I had a few friends and family like, "Oh, can I buy one off you? Like, I really want this myself." So I was like, "Okay, great. I'll just make a couple extra and just sell it here and there for like £10 or something." It was great. Um, so I kept that going, and then I decided maybe I have something here. So I stuck it on Etsy. It just went wild. Like, I think maybe right time, right
Hmm.
place, just seized an opportunity, and I made 60,000 sales in that first year. So this was at the same time as me going through my lecture process
Yeah.
online. So I'd just be there watching my lectures whilst making these cups because I handmade everything to begin with.
You handmade
Oh,
60,000
that was
cups.
60,000 orders. Like people were
So,
ordering 10, 20.
oh,
Like
wow.
I have trauma. I have trauma from it. But I had nothing else to do for an entire year.
Hmm.
So I just did it. I literally just woke up, did this, and like it gave me something to do for an entire year. Um, so I kept that going, and then obviously kept it going whilst I was doing my second year. So I took it to London with me in my shared room, my shared flat with my sister. And yeah, I just kept it going. But I think that was also another reason to why I dropped out, because I could see the potential behind what I was doing. Um, and I think it was more the fact that it actually it was teaching me more than my lectures were. I was
Mm.
just sat in my lectures like, I'm actually doing this right now, but I'm being paid for it. Um, so I think that was another reason to why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fly solo on this and just give it a go.
Yeah. And so what What happened with that business? Because obviously
Yes.
what you're doing today it's stemmed from that. That was obviously the starting point.
Yeah.
And it's grown and evolved into a bigger idea, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
But what happened?
Yeah, so the first year kind of blew up and it kind of maintained for second year. And then second year decided, oh, I'll, talk to a few businesses, see if I'm going to do B2B deals, which I ended up doing. So a lot of like companies would order custom products from me that they would have at their events, their PR boxes, XYZ, which was really cool because I got to do more of like the B2B side of things and how to like handle that. And then I kept it running for the third year. And then this was last year, decided I just didn't want to do cups anymore. As much as I enjoyed it and much as it was a great like industry to kind of get, like, it taught me so much and experience and helped me raise some money that I could then use to other things. I just thought I had more potential than a plastic cup. So last year I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something I really enjoy. And that's why I went down athleisure wear, because I'm really into my sports. But I'm also kind of really into good quality clothing, and was really struggling to find that, like, in our general kind of fashion industry as it is right now. It's just all fast fashion. It's all really low quality. That's why I used to buy vintage. So I decided to go through that process. I learned a lot because I tried different things and launching and didn't really work, and then did work. And I've just kind of built up the entire year of just one, fundraising, and then building a brand and kind of establishing that. Um, just switching up everything. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wild journey, but we're still kind of building at the moment, still learning.
Listen, it's always fun. You've got to have the enjoyment of the journey.
Yeah.
It's not always about the destination. It's what I always tell
Oh
myself.
yeah.
But you've skipped over a massive part of something very successful that I think you've done at a young age. So how old was you when you sold, or when you had 60,000 orders?
I was 18 at the
You was
time.
18. And the money that you accumulated from that,
Yes.
you then was able to invest.
Yeah. So when I was basically I took that money, I did something last year, which wasn't actually really related to my business, but kind of like a personal business, I guess. I bought a house with it, which I now rent out.
Hmm.
But that was wild to me, doing it at the age of, I think it was 22, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was quite cool. But then also used the money to then reinvest into this business. So again, I am very lucky that I managed to bootstrap the entire way, because I literally only had £100 to start my business with. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Because I was working part-time for Domino's at the time. So as a delivery driver, because again, key worker back then.
Yeah.
But that's literally how I started it, because I didn't have any inclination of how to raise money. Like, I had no idea about that. So that's how it all started. So
Why buy a house to rent out? What was the thinking behind it? Because that's my business, I've been in property for a long time, so I understand it. But for someone of that age
Mm.
to have a big success over a couple of year period, but then to be sensible enough to think this is what I should be doing, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think for me, what happened is that when my dad passed away, we had to sell our family house.
Okay.
Because my mum had to try support 3 kids, and she was working after, 'cause when the business shut down, when my dad passed away, my mum picked up a part-time job at a supermarket. So we weren't on a lot of money. So we had to sell our house basically to support it. And then since then, we've rented different places. And I think for me, it's just the instability of that. And I just wanted a solid place that,
Mm.
if anything goes wrong, because I'm in the business world, anything can go wrong, that I always have a place to live. And I also wanted that to offer that to my family as well, because we all rent right now. And I know there's a lot of insecurity with it. So I basically said to everyone, like, look, if anything goes wrong, we always have a place to live. And I also knew it was quite good investment. Like, my mum was always like, oh, buy a house when you can, rent it out is good. Um, and like, maybe in retrospect, I could have used that money to probably propel my business even more. But I'm actually really glad that I did that. Because it's just a good investment to make
Mm.
with anyone.
Do you think if your dad didn't pass away at such a young age, do you think you'd have still made the same decision?
I don't know. Maybe my business would have existed, but I don't even think it might have not. Like, I think that really just changed the direction of my path,
Mhm.
because had no idea. Like, I didn't even want to do a business when I was younger. I wanted to be a marine biologist, I wanted to be a pilot. I went through so many different phases. But I really think that that just completely changed the direction of my life, um, to why the reason I made the choices that I did. So I don't think it would have like happened unless that happened. But again, everything happens for a reason, and like you just kind of take what you're given and just hopefully make the best out of it.
Yeah, look, I speak to a lot of business owners, and I think for most of them, there's always that sort of turning point, which
Yeah.
has either, made them feel that they need to make a success of their life or
Yeah.
to, have that stability. And that's obviously
Mm.
been your driver.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to so many business owners and loads of people that have created fantastic businesses, and they've always had some type of either trauma or there's a reason to why they've made their business. I just generally think that that is a massive driver to
Mm.
why someone wants to achieve more than the average person. Um, but again, everyone has their different reasons.
For sure, for sure. So, Peppermint, this is the new chapter.
The new
And
chapter.
since we met, whatever it was, a year, 18 months ago,
Yeah,
it's evolved quite a lot.
a lot.
But it sounds like you're on a really exciting journey with it that's now coming to a point that can potentially become more exciting. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit, what is Peppermint? What is it going to become?
Yeah.
What are your plans?
So Peppermint has really evolved. I think when we first met 18 months ago, I wasn't planning on even doing clothing, but now we're ended up here. So, um, luxury athleisure wear. Yeah. I think for me, I really wanted to make a business that had really good intentions behind it. So I chose a clothing industry because I like my creative element. I like being stylish, and that's kind of what I love to do. But I always used to buy vintage, and this kind of stems down, I think, from my 14-year-old business of buying and selling clothing, making my own stuff. Um, Quality to me is a big factor in what I would do. Like, even from my business point of view of just running a business, I don't really want to do anything half-hearted.
Mm.
So what I've really noticed within the clothing industry is that, one, fast fashion, but there's just so much like low quality items out there that I actually really struggle to go to a shop and buy anything now, and I just don't want to. So I buy a lot of secondhand or vintage. So I wanted to just recreate that. I wanted to kind of recreate that quality that we had from like 80s and 90s and bring that today, because I think that's what's missing. So that's kind of where I've decided to like get the values for my company. I've chose athleisure wear because I'm really big into my sports,
Yep.
and it's like what I wear in a general. Um, but I also really love the creative element of like trying to bring back that retro kind of styles. So 80s, 90s, because I grew up with so much 80s music from my mum
Mhm.
and like influence from my mum that I just love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. And I think it's quite unique and it's something different. So all my marketing and kind of like where I'm going with the direction of the company is going to be very retro inspired, but have a modern twist to it. So that's kind of where we're going at the moment. But I just love like the creative element behind it.
Yeah.
That's like the
I
biggest
can
drive.
see your excitement as
Oh
you're talking
yeah.
about it.
I love it.
You've always had that creative spark, since,
Yeah.
like you say, since you was 14 and you was redesigning clothes and then designing hundreds of
Oh,
thousands of
other
cups
thing.
per year. That's all. So that's
Yeah.
that creative spark is what drives you most then.
Definitely. I think so. I just really love making stuff. Like, that's why I chose a product-based business, because I love making things.
Mm.
Like trying to solve problems with like a creative turn. But it's always been like a good outlet for me, and I just really enjoy it. Just really enjoy it.
Yeah. We were speaking earlier for the show, and you're still currently a team of one.
Yes.
And you are probably one of the hardest working people that I know.
Thank you.
Writing LinkedIn posts at 2 a.m. in the morning is not for everyone.
I don't recommend that, but I do it.
But tell us, we were talking just before, tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about what the downsides of that can be.
I think it's just like I don't switch off. I really struggle to switch off. And like I don't know if that's just me as my personality in itself, but maybe I take it a bit extreme. So, I mean, I do work 7 days a week
Mm.
and I am up late. I went through burnout, which is not fun at all. And yeah, I think I prioritize my business a lot over a lot of other things. So again, maybe I don't have the right balance, but I don't deny that either. And I actually kind of enjoy what I do. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. And I have no shame in that.
I don't think you
But
should. I think
yeah,
it's always good to be self-aware enough to know where
yeah,
you're at personally.
yeah.
Um, and if you've been through that stage of burnout, I mean, tell us what
Mm.
what was that like?
That was tough. Like, I think it was last year, November, December time. And I think, again, it's just a lot of different things that kind of like compelled into why I got burnt out. Number one, the weather was awful, and that really affects me like mentally. Um, two is like last year was incredibly difficult. Repositioning and rebranding a company by yourself whilst trying to figure out a much bigger project was incredibly hard. Like, I never fundraised before, so I was trying to teach myself how to do all of that. And I had no one to help me with that. So I had to learn everything from like making contracts, like how do I even need to raise money? What do I even need to make a business like much bigger than it did before? So I had all of that going on. Then trying to actually take my cup business and then make it into something else.
Mm.
Again, incredibly difficult to try and dissociate yourself from what you did before to something new. Then I started posting on LinkedIn, which again, that blew up. So that was another element to that. Um, and then building a new website. There was just so much learning that was happening. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people realize that when you're building a business, you're not getting paid for that. Like initially, you're not getting paid for that. And you still have to live. Like you
Mm.
still have to have all your bills to pay. I didn't have anyone I could rely on. I didn't have, my family. I don't have a ton of money in my family, so I couldn't ask my mom to like lend me some money to pay
Yeah.
my rent each month. So I had that pressure also on me. Um, and I think I was just getting incredibly worried about that. And then trying to obviously build something. And then when you're a solo founder and you're working every single day, just waking up and it's just you become like a victim of your own perfection, I think. So the way you talk to yourself, kind of like, it's really difficult when you're trying to achieve highly, because then you start talking to yourself quite negatively, like, oh,
Yeah.
I could be doing more every single day, but like, why am I not achieving X, Y, Z? Yeah, like, I just don't know where to go. And it's just a lot of negativity that kind of compels within that. So I think it was just so many different factors that kind of threw it into one. And then I think I reached December and I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I just
Mm.
can't be in that negative mindset. I need to just take myself out of the situation. So I booked a holiday, which
As you do.
as you do casually. But it actually really helped because
Yeah.
it kind of got me out of my bubble, got me out of the London bubble of like the hustle and grind. And I got into some sunshine and it really changed my perspective. And I was like, you know what? I do have this. I just need to kind of change my mindset of how I approach building a business. That's at that point I came back, started reaching out to a few people, started
Mhm.
asking for help, which I never did before. And then I realized that building a business isn't just me, it's the whole collective. Even if I'm a solo founder, there are people out there that will help me.
Yeah.
Um, and that really changed the game for me massively.
Asking for help is something that not many people like to do because they
No.
see it as a sign of weakness, and I've been through
Yeah.
that stage as well. But when people are a little bit ahead of the journey or they've done something that you're aspiring to do, that little bit of help, even if it's just one piece
Yeah.
of information that they've learned, can help massively.
Yeah.
But just going back, so you spoke about the cause
Yeah.
of the burnout, but for people that listen who may be going through similar things,
Mm.
what does it actually feel like? What are you going through in that moment?
Yeah, in that moment, I think I just woke up every single day and I had zero motivation left within me. And being a solo founder, you need that motivation because
Mm.
you're the only one that wakes up and drives the business forward. Like you get up, you reply to emails, you do X, Y, Z. And I just woke up every morning. I was like, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I couldn't find any inspiration. I felt lost within that moment. Like I didn't know which like next step I needed to take. Um, and I think it was more of like a mental block
Yeah.
more than anything, and it just really dragged me down. I just felt really mentally exhausted. And it comes out in a physical way as well. Like I said to you earlier, like my hair started falling out because of stress. And stress is massive. Stress is a massive physical and mental factor, and I don't think a lot of people talk about the physical side effects of stress.
Mm.
From just like low recovery rates if you're into your sports. Like I just was going to the gym and I felt exhausted all the time. Mentally, like I was so tired. You could see it under my eyes. I think my sister was like, "You just don't look very good right now." I was like, "Thanks,
Just
Olivia.
what you want to hear.
That's exactly what I want to hear." But yeah, I think it was just like a mental and a physical combination of just did not feel my best at that moment.
No, I mean, yeah, I've been through similar things
Mm,
myself, so I understand what it feels like. And that recovery, that exhaustion is,
relentless.
it's painful
It
because
is.
you know that you need to be doing certain things and you
Yeah.
dragging yourself through it. But what lessons, if you reflect back and look at that period of
Mm,
time to prevent that from happening again, or if someone
mm,
listening is going through that and they're
yeah.
working hard and they're doing every hour under the sun, what lessons can you take from that period of time to help prevent that?
I would say don't like prioritize your work over your social life. I really did. So I spent the entire last year strapped to my laptop,
Mm,
and I think that that was probably the cause of it. Like probably would have been able to deal with the stress a little bit more if I had a bit more balance. But I was not seeing anyone. I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't plan anything fun because I just felt like I had to be working 24/7. Having time off and having time to reset and to actually socialize with people and have fun in life, that would have like completely changed it for me. So I don't think, don't do what I did where I work 24/7 every single day. Actually have a life,
yeah.
enjoy it, and don't feel guilty about having a day off because actually having a day off will probably, you don't want to get burnt out. I spent 2 months in that state of no motivation to do anything. I had a few days off. It actually helped me to recuperate, to, have a bit fun and then come back to it refreshed. Um, so having days off are just as productive as your productive days.
I agree. I think your business is only as good as you are.
Yeah,
It can only grow
exactly.
to the level that you grow to. It can only be as good as you are. But with Peppermint, what's the goal? Where do you want to take that business to?
I think for me, like my business is never going to be like, oh, I want to achieve X, Y, Z. I want to be, mass grossing. I just want it to do well and for something I
What
really
what
enjoy.
is well?
What is well, to support my life, to support my family's life, that's always a goal for me. I've always set the goal I want to pay my mum's mortgage off eventually. But for Peppermint in itself, I just want to see it global. I want to see it making a positive impact on the fashion industry. I want it to have that creative element of being a really cool business that you see all the social content being slightly different. Um, Building a community sense, so having everyone as part of our business as well through whether or not we do events. But just it being really fun. I
Yeah,
think, life is too serious now.
that's the key.
Just
Enjoy the
have
journey,
fun, honestly, yeah.
definitely. Um, so another, we could call it a business. We could call it a
Yes.
side hustle, whatever you want to call it. But it's turned into a business for you, I think.
I think so.
Is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So you touched on it earlier,
Yes.
and I think that's how probably we become acquainted.
I think so.
Um, but it's kind of blown up for you in the last year or so.
Yeah.
I think you got over 100,000 followers now. What are you on at the minute?
The thing is, I think I checked this morning, it was
Okay.
107,000.
In just over a year?
A year and a half,
Okay.
yeah.
Why LinkedIn? What
LinkedIn.
started that for you?
So I was actually at gym one time and my friend was there and she was like, "Oh, you should start posting on LinkedIn." To me, LinkedIn was like a Facebook. I just, about it from university. They say, "Oh, let's set up your LinkedIn profile." It's
Mm,
literally one of our tasks to do. I just left it and I never touched it. Didn't even know it existed. So I just started posting. She was like, "Talk about your business. You never know what you might find." And at that point, I had zero network. I didn't know anyone that was in business. I knew literally no one. So I knew I needed to, everyone talk to you about, grow your network. That's your net worth. So I thought that that'd be a great way to connect with people. Like I had my Instagram account, but that was mostly for my friends and kind of that world. But I never delved into the business world.
mm,
So I started posting on there and it did really well. I think what was different about it is that I treated LinkedIn like it was my Instagram. So it was kind of very casual, just talking about my day to day kind of learnings of business. I kind of think I stuck out like a sore thumb because
yeah.
on LinkedIn it's very corporate. Like everyone's like, we doubled our business and XYZ. So having more of like the creative and fun element to what I was posting started getting picked up quite a lot by people. And the more as like my account grew, the more connections I made for my business. the more my business grew, because I was just getting help that I needed, I was learning a lot through other people that have been through more than me and had more experience. And then I started getting invited to networking events, which I had never had access to before. And that completely changed the game because I met so many incredible
Mm.
people. Um, so that kind of why I kept like my LinkedIn going, and I just kept posting daily because I was meeting more people. My business was growing because of it. Had business deals through LinkedIn. Like I would have companies asking me because I was still running my cup business back then. Like, oh, we'd love to order some cups from you. We've seen you like post on LinkedIn, which again drove my business.
Yeah.
And then I obviously started the whole rebrand process. I was talking about that and just talking about the startup journey. Met a few other people that are going through startups themselves. So it's quite nice to have that the connection of people that are going through the same pain points as I was. So having that community sense and finding some really good friends out of it. And then it drove my fundraising round, which I started last year. And now it's turned into a whole business itself because personal branding, I don't think a lot of people realize, but personal branding is huge,
Mm.
absolutely huge. Can have your business, but your personal brand is a business within itself. So, talking about like you can get paid to go on talks, you can get paid to write a guide, for example. Um, but yeah, that in itself is like a whole other thing, which I think people don't realize.
Yeah, and that's something that you've started to see
Yeah.
fairly recently, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, fairly recently, but like you can monetize your personal brand quite a lot.
Mm.
So I started doing that probably about a couple months ago. So again, that's another benefit to why I should be on LinkedIn.
No, definitely. And the content you write, as you say, it's slightly different. You
Yes.
know, you treat it as your Instagram. Was that intentional or was that just natural how you came about it?
I think it was just like natural. Because I've always been on the Instagram world, so it's like the
Mm.
only way I knew how to write content. But then I started seeing it kind of blow up, and I was getting the impressions, I was getting the likes, I was getting the reposts. So I just knew it was doing quite well. So I just kept replicating each time. Um, but I think I also have had a few messages of people saying, look, I'm trying to set up my business and I find your content really helpful. And I think it's just what I wish I had as
Yeah.
well. Like, I wish I had someone telling me how to start a business from nothing, because like, that's what I had to do, and I had made so many mistakes along the way, and it's taken me a while to get to where I am today. So if I had that guidance, it would have helped me so much. So that's why I want to kind of tell other people about it.
Mm.
Um, Otherwise, business seems so inaccessible, especially to my age, and yeah, not going through the university routes.
100%. And that, those messages that come,
Yes.
they're really rewarding, aren't they?
I had one the other day from someone that was 15, and I think that literally just made my day. She was like, I really want to make my own business, and I saw your content online, and like, I just really want to be like you." And that actually just made that is the reason why. That is the reason why. Because I could see my 15-year-old self that was trying to get into this, and like, if I had that person there that I could look up to, would have helped me so much.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why.
No, that's lovely. I mean, I had a few last month and it just lights a fire in you
It
that
does,
you
yeah.
actually go, okay, look, this is worthwhile. It's helping some
Yeah.
people.
And I think, again, like I said, when you go through burnout, you have a message like that, that gives you the reason to keep going.
Yeah.
Because there's other people out there that like are validating it for you, and they can see your hard work, and maybe you can't see it in that moment, but
Other
messages like
people
that
can.
literally
Definitely.
make it.
Yeah. So we're going to do something different, a little
Okay.
bit different. We're going to do a little LinkedIn masterclass
Oh, okay. LinkedIn
because
masterclass.
I would say at the minute, well, you're obviously doing fairly well at it. So someone today, you know, they're 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
They want to start posting on LinkedIn. Where do they start? How do they start?
So I think when I started mine, I literally just introduced myself and my mission. I didn't have my business at that, like, to where it is right now at that point. So I think a lot of people instantly think they can't start talking about their journey until they've established, like, either they've launched and then they
Mm.
can talk about it. Start from day one. Even if you've not achieved anything right now, just literally talk about, hi, I've got this mission. This is my journey. I'm going to document everything, and document everything. I cannot stress that enough. Get all the social media content of you building it, because right now is the perfect time. Creator brands are the new way to market. Just be really honest and open about what you're doing. share the ups and lows,
Mhm.
the ups and the low points. Because if you're more honest, people support that. People want to see all the behind the scenes of everything. So I think start with just like one, establishing yourself and what your mission is. Two, how your content is going to look. So maybe your content pillars, as everyone says. For me, startups, being a female founder, and again, just like building from scratch.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I talk about. So find what your niche is and what you're really passionate about. And then be consistent with it. Like I post every single day. Okay, maybe not every single day, but most of the time, 5 days a week.
Mhm.
Maybe it's 4. But I post every single time, like the same time every single day, same kind of like structure to my post. So I have a really good hook, and then I have probably a problem that I've experienced. So maybe it's like something I've learned or a mistake that I've made. And then I follow up with tips to how you can improve or lessons that I've learned and try to make it a positive afterwards. So I literally follow that same structure.
Mhm.
I post 3 photos. It's just become like my trademark now that I post 3 photos with everything. But then someone said to me the other day, like, "Oh, I know it's your post without even reading it because I see your visual content." Um,
I noticed that with your posts.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's because I tried to fit this aesthetic. So I think a lot of people, especially with LinkedIn, your written content is really important. Don't get me wrong on that. But your visual elements are, I think a lot of people look over,
Mm.
especially on LinkedIn. Like on Instagram, yeah, we all know it's a visual game. But LinkedIn, the first thing that someone's going to see is your photos. Then they'll see your written content. So make sure it like fits in with a nice feed. Make sure it's good quality. Then have a good hook, and that's how you kind of grab people in.
Yeah.
Um, but again, consistency, have a good feed, have value, always add value to your posts, and stick to your content pillars and your niches.
Okay. And what are the common mistakes you see people making
On LinkedIn.
that people should
Mm.
avoid?
Um, well, number one, they're inconsistent. But two, they're not personal enough. I
Mm.
find that sometimes, if I'm scrolling through my feed, and like I love everyone's business and I'm a big supporter of everyone's businesses, but the posts that are just talking about how much money they've made, I'm not interested. I'm really not
Yeah.
interested. I want to hear about like, oh, I found it really difficult in doing XYZ. We made this mistake. What did this teach me? Because that's where the real value is. Um, and I think the mistake is, yeah, just not being personal enough. People want to support people. I don't really care about your numbers. I'm caring about your story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I've seen, and that's the thing, that's what's done well with me as well. Like I don't really talk about too much about, the numbers behind my business, but I talk about the story, and I
Mm.
think that's what the support is for.
That's what people buy
Yeah,
into that,
so
don't
much
they?
more interesting.
And that authenticity, the like you said earlier, the highs and the lows. And I think
Mm,
people probably appreciate the lows more than the highs because
yeah,
social media these days is just full of everyone's highs, which are a lot of the time unrealistic and over the
yeah,
top. And it's pulling back the curtain, really, isn't it, to show
yeah,
people what business is actually about. Um, how did you find? Because you blew up pretty quickly. So what
yeah.
was that like? I mean, that must have been you must have felt like a mini celebrity at one point.
Oh, I think at like a couple months, I was gaining like 10,000 followers each month, which was quite wild to
Yeah.
me. Like I've never been in that realm before. Um, it was so much. Like I would get 500 comments or something on my post. I would find a lot of my time was being spent on that, but I was also seeing the value that was coming from that. So, um, obviously, I was getting the connections that I needed to build my business. Um, but yeah, it was just really bizarre. Like I just didn't realize that the little cup business that I was making was gonna generate a lot of interest. Um, but it also gave me the motivation to keep going. So I think, no, I'm not like you should rely on external validation, but it kind of did give me that, like, okay, maybe I've got something here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm actually onto something. For for a perfectionist like me, that kind of needed that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite ironic that you just said that because the next question I had was around being a solo founder still,
Yes.
and you've had a go at trying to bring in other people,
Yeah.
but the perfectionist in you
Yeah.
is
Oh,
is holding that
yeah.
back sometimes. So what's
Yeah.
you know you said earlier your plan is to build a global business ideally one day. So how do we get to that stage by ourselves?
Oh, yeah, I feel like I'm not the right person to ask on that. Just still struggle with it. No, I really struggle with it because I think even for me right now, my business is not where I want it to be. Like I'm still achieving more, but trying to let go of some of the control within my business is incredibly difficult. So I've tried hiring people and I really struggle with it. I struggle to kind of communicate my ideas of like where I see my business going. Um, so when my expectations aren't reached, I'm just like, "Ugh, this is just not working. I'll do it myself." I'm one of those people that like, if I have something, I'll just do it myself. And I think again, that kind of just comes from being like an independent child.
Yeah.
I've had to be like that because of my situation, my dad and stuff. So I've always had to be very independent from day one. But I can't the fact is, I know for a fact that I can't build a business by myself. If I want to make a global business, I can't just do it myself,
Yeah.
and I have to accept that. And I'm at that point now, like, I need to hire someone, but it's again, just like, how do I let go of the control? How do I onboard someone that can give their creative direction of, like, how they see the company going, and then in go of the fact that it's just not gonna be mine anymore, it's
Mm.
gonna be a team's.
Which
Um
is also exciting
it's very
because with that comes
exciting.
new ideas and new
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yes, I think so, but I think it's just like I want to make sure that I've got the right team, that I
For
can
sure. Yeah.
see where the vision's going, um, which again I think is difficult for me. But we'll get to that stage, and we're hoping that stage will be soonish. But yeah, it's exciting. It is really exciting.
I'm sure you're going to get there.
Yes.
So at the end of each episode, I'll be asking each guest for 3 pieces of actionable advice that anyone
Yeah.
listening or anyone watching can go away and take and implement into their business or into their life or personal
Yeah.
brand, or whatever it is they're doing. Um, so what would your 3 things be that someone can take away and implement?
My number one is probably the biggest one is going to be document everything. Use social media. It's free. It's your biggest marketing platform and talk about your story itself. Like at the moment, creative brands are doing incredibly well. I've seen so many incredible founders talk about the story on social media, and that is what has popped them off. And like they've got investment, they've got business deals, all because they're just talking about their story. So number one, just document everything and talk about it and post about it. Um, Number 2, don't rush everything. I'm a bit guilty of this. I rushed a lot because I got overexcited. I wanted to launch a business before it was ready. Just take your time. Like, no, there's not a race. It's all down to you. So make sure you get it ready the first time and just take your time to get the quality right. And then thirdly, always ask for help. Always ask for help. One conversation, literally just one conversation, it might be 10 minutes, will save you about a whole month's worth of work. Because I was at that point where I wasn't asking for any help and I was so lost and I was spending ages trying to sort out a problem. And I've had a conversation for like 10 minutes. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, I know how to do that. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Why did I not do that before? So always ask for help, and you'll be surprised about how many people are actually so happy that you asked them that. Like if someone comes to me now and asks for help, I'm like, yes, I would love to help you because
Yeah.
it's almost like a compliment.
Yeah, it's a little ego boost in
Yeah, it
yourself.
is. It is. So always ask for help. You'll definitely get it.
Yeah. Well, look, I love them. I think they're all fairly simple, but all things that people actually need reminding of.
Yeah.
Yeah, asking for help. I mean, we spoke about it earlier, but I think it's so underrated because
Mm,
most people are too proud to do it. They don't want to see them.
yeah.
They don't want to show a weakness. But like you say, it can save so much time and unlock so many
Yeah.
doors. Um, but Casey, you've been amazing. I think you've given some really
Thank you.
good. Well, you've got some really good stories, but also given some really good advice. And I think many people listening can take some of that away. And especially if they're into the personal branding and want to build
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Really
Thank you very
appreciate
much
you
for having
coming
me.
on. And yeah, we look forward to seeing what you're going to do with Peppermint.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Driven Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment to let us know what you found most insightful, but most importantly, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next episode.